What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my studios and my channel. I haven't said studios in a minute, but you get the point. So, it's been a while since I've talked about anything Power Rangers related when it comes to the comics or whatever, but this one is all about Unlimited, and we finally got to see what our first issue looks like. It says, breaking first look at the striking Tiger Yellow Ranger that will debut in Power Rangers Unlimited issue 1. The series will feature teams from Power Rangers 30-year history, and that's what I like. And I know the Gen Z are probably going crazy because they want to see other Rangers from different teams rather than Mighty Morphin. I mean, I want to see him too, but I'm not going to just sit there and crash out over it just because they're going to, keep doing MMPR, this and that, when they know MMPR is the money-making franchise. I mean, they have done comics about Rangers from other seasons in the past. Time Force did it, In Space did it. Power Rangers Prime is pretty much original, but with MMPR elements, but in a different universe, But I think at some point, this comic is going to probably do like a one-off special with every Ranger from different teams, giving them their backstory and their flowers and stuff like that. But hey, we're here. Let's check out the preview. Okay, so for starters, I gotta say the costume looks very unique. It has some MMPR elements, and some people say it's controversial because it's MMPR. Like, let me say this before I review this costume. Y'all keep calling it controversy because it's MMPR. Y'all hate MMPR because it's disgusting, like it's gross. But yet, when you cheer for other teams and stuff, y'all praise it. I mean, doesn't that seem hypocrisy if you ask me? I mean, yeah, there are some bad teams from bad seasons and stuff like that, but I don't think the way y'all perpetrated MMPR as the most disgusting franchises of all time, because Hasbro and Playmates are milking this thing. That's my biggest issue with the fans. Like, y'all starting to sound like IWC wrestling fans. When they don't get their way, you cry on social media and you want to get the company to be at your demands for new this and that. And sometimes they listen to the fans, but at some point, the way you're complaining and crying about it on social media, it makes them not want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's just my biggest issues with social media in general. Y'all complain about every single thing and you're never satisfied with it. And that's the sad part. So, getting back into this. What we have here is the MMPR Yellow Ranger, the Saber-Tooth Tiger. And the eyes is a bit red. That's a little bit different, matching the costume. And the way I'm looking at this costume is pretty much giving Lord Dragon vibes, because Lord Dragon is one of the most iconic Rangers from the Boom Studio comics. And the costume itself is very iconic. In the Shattered Grid story, he pretty much merged every Ranger power from Ranger teams into one. Now, if you look closely on the black pants, now if you notice in the black pants, I believe it's representing Danny from Wild Force, and yellow represents Zeo, and red represents Red Alien / Sasuke from Kaku Ranger. And you see the little diamonds that represents the MMPR yellow. So the costume itself is pretty much unique, like I said. It's original, but with MMPR elements. It's not meant to like copy MMPR, but it could be different designs from it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to break down of what I noticed. So I want to break down what I noticed on this cover is every Saban, Disney, and Neo Saban Ranger from different Ranger teams from 30-year history. Some good and some bad, but guess what? They're here. So you have Danny from Wild Force, and I like Danny. Danny is one of the most underrated characters from that show, and he's one of my favorite characters in Power Rangers Legacy Wars, even though I have problems with that game, but that's a story for another time. And you got Toya from Ninja Storm. She's the interesting Blue Ranger, you know what I'm saying? Looking back at Ninja Storm, I think she was an interesting character. Now, Oracle from the Alien Rangers, I do not like Alien Rangers, honestly. I think how Saban written them is so terribly done. They could have just used animatronic Rangers from representing the ancestors, like the ape character representing the Ninja Rangers. They could have just called it Ninja Rangers instead of Alien. And I don't like it, but he's here. So it is what it is. Now, if you look closely my boy RJ is in the comics. I love me some RJ. RJ is one of my favorite Jungle Fury Rangers and mentor, along with Dr. O. And Damien from Lost Galaxy, he's also in this too. I know there are some people that are confused as to who's in it and who's not. If you look closely, you can see the Lost Galaxy green helmet, so that's pretty much Damon. Damon is alright though. I didn't really like him that much in Lost Galaxy, but he did have some cool moments, you know, minus the bad acting. But hey, you gotta put it in there somehow, right? And last but not, well, you have Gia from Megaforce. Now, even though she was underdeveloped and she was done dirty throughout Megaforce and Super Megaforce, she literally had no character development at all. And I think that's one of the biggest issues I had with the Neo Saban era, is that you have all your Rangers and you don't really know how to write them well. Like, you're not doing a good job of writing these characters well. That's what I was trying to say before I turned Swirl, but you get the point. So she's also in it. And you have Xandar from Power Rangers Mystic Force. If you look closely on the bottom right, you can pretty much see his helmet and costume on the display. So he's pretty much in, you know, Power Rangers Unlimited. So yeah. So everybody is in Power Rangers Power Rangers Unlimited. Yeah, I'm excited for this issue. I wonder how they're going to tackle all of the Rangers history and how they're going to write these characters better in the comics than the TV show. Because let's face it, the comics are killing Power Rangers in the best way when it comes to writing good stories and stuff. But the TV shows, I feel like they have some good story moments, but they don't do it like the comics. While even the MCU have been cooking when it comes to adapting storylines and films and stuff, but they do it right. So, how y'all feel about this, man? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you enjoy my video breakdown and my thoughts on the toxic fandoms? Let me know in the chat. I'm out of here.